Hello everyone and welcome to the Safety and Compliance Center. This is Bilal Khan and here I will simplify NEBOSH IGC course for you. I'm very confident that by the end of this session you will have much better understanding of the topic if you will interact with the exercises given between the session. In this session we will explore the different types of radiation and their potential health effects. We will cover the source of non-ionizing radiation, how to control it, and then move on to the ionizing radiation, include hazards like radon gas. Finally, we will discuss the strategies for controlling the ionizing radiation as well as the importance of monitoring and health surveillance to protect the workers' health. Radiation is generally classified into two types based on its ability to ionize the matter. The non-ionizing radiation does not cause the ionization when it passes through the materials. Common examples include the visible light and the radio waves. In contrast, the ionizing radiation has enough energy to cause ionization in the material it passes through, potentially damaging the cells and the DNA. Examples of the ionizing radiations like X-rays and the radioactive substances. The non-ionizing radiation includes various types of electromagnetic waves with different frequencies. The ultraviolet radiation is high frequency light emitted by extremely hot materials like the arc in the arc welding. The visible light falls between the ultraviolet and the infrared frequencies and is the light we can see with our eyes. The infrared radiation, the IR, comes from lower frequency and light emitted by hot objects such as the molten metal. Even lower frequency radiation includes the microwaves produced by the microwave generators and the radio waves emitted by the antennas for the communication. Different types of the non-ionizing radiation come from various sources, can cause specific health effects. The ultraviolet radiation from sunlight and the arc welding can cause the skin burns, eye injuries like the arc eyes, and the increase the risk of skin cancer. Visible light such as from lasers may cause temporary blindness. Infrared radiation emitted by red hot steel and glass manufacturing processes can cause the skin redness, burns, and eye damage, including the retinal burns and the cataracts. Microwaves used in food preparation and telecommunications and radio waves from radio, TV, and radar can lead to the internal heating and potential organ damage with the prolonged exposure. You are going on a holiday to a hot country with long hours of the sunshine. So how you would protect yourself from the sunburn caused by the ultraviolet radiation? Share your tips and your ideas in the comment section below. I'm excited to see your responses and keep the session interactive to learn from each other. Different types of the radiation require a specific protection measures. For ultraviolet radiation, it is important to cover the exposed skin and protect your eyes when dealing with the visible light and lasers. Avoid shining low-class lasers into the eyes, while high-class lasers require eye protection, shielding, and non-reflective surfaces. To protect against the infrared radiations, covering skin and shielding the eyes are very essential. For the microwave and radio waves, maintaining a safe distance and using the isolation and lockout procedures to help prevent the harmful effect on the person's health. Ionizing radiation comes in several forms, each with different source and uses. Alpha particles are commonly found in smoke detectors and science labs. Beta particles are used in the thickness gauges and also in the laboratories. The X-rays are widely used in medical radiography and airport security scanners. The gamma rays are used in the industrial radiography to inspect the integrity of metals and welds without damaging them. And finally, the neutron or the type typically found in the nuclear power stations, where they play a key role in the fission process. Exposure to the ionizing radiation can lead to both acute and chronic health effects. Acute effects occurs after high doses over a shorter period and may include radiation sickness, diarrhea, and hair loss and anemia due to red blood cell damage and weakened immune system from the damage to the white blood cells. The chronic effects which develop over time can include cancer, genetic mutations, and even birth defects in the future generations. There are three basic ways to control exposure to the ionizing radiation: the time, the distance, and the shielding. First, minimize the time spent near a radiation source reduces the exposure since the dose is directly proportional to the time. Second, increasing the distance from the source is effective way to control alpha and beta particles do not travel far in the air, and other types of sources radiation follow the inverse square law, meaning if you double the distance, the dose drops to a quarter. So finally, shielding with the materials like lead helps block or reduce the radiation, especially for more penetrating types like gamma rays and the X-rays. The Ionizing Radiation Regulation 2017 set legal limits on the exposure to protect both the workers and the public. The annual dose limit for the general public is less than 1 millisievert, while workers it is less than 20 millisievert. The regulation requires a risk assessment to be carried out by a competent person. In many cases, organization must appoint a radiation protection advisor and more radiation protection supervisor to ensure proper safety measures are in place and the compliance is maintained with the standards. The radon gas is naturally occurring radioactive gas that emits alpha particle radiation, a form of ionizing radiation. While it is not particularly hazardous outside the body, it becomes dangerous when it is inhaled, as it can damage lung tissue and significantly increases the risk of lung cancer. This makes radon a serious concern in enclosed or poorly ventilated spaces such as basements and underground workplaces. In areas where naturally occurring radon levels are high and the risk outdoor is usually low due to the open air ventilation, how the indoors, especially in a poorly ventilated workplace like basements, radon can accumulate and pose a significant health risk. If levels is rises above the action value, the radon survey should be conducted. Employers may need to appoint a radiation protection supervisor and implement the engineering controls such as the positive air pressure air fans and radon sumps or the extraction system to reduce the exposure and protect the workers. The basic radiation protection strategies applies to all type of radiation exposure and are essential for maintaining a safe working environment. The first priority is to eliminate exposure wherever it is reasonably practicable. If elimination is not possible, exposure must be reduced to the lowest level reasonably achievable. Employers must also ensure that the exposure to the radiation does not exceed the limits defined in the legal standards, and that all activities involving the radiation are risk assessed by a competent person. Providing appropriate training and information along with the implementation of the health surveillance forms as a crucial part of maintaining the long-term worker safety. Monitoring and health surveillance play a very important role in ensuring the safety of workers exposed to radiation. The regular checks help detect early signs of health effects and ensure that controls are effective. Types of examination may include skin checks for the surface contamination, the respiratory checks to monitoring the inhalation risk, and review of the exposure records to track the radiation doses over time. Additionally, sickness records and can help identify the patterns that may point out to the radiation related to health issues. Thank you very much for watching this video from the Safety and Compliance Center. If you have any questions regarding this session, please drop your questions in the comment section below. I would love to answer that. This is your channel. Like it, subscribe it for more safety content. Stay safe, stay blessed, and goodbye.